The Nairobi metropolitan area, and we are happy to have the governor with us here, as the economic hub of our nation and which generates 40% of our GDP, faces significant challenges of congestion and mobility. This negatively impacts the environment in terms of pollution and increases the cost of transport. Decongesting Nairobi and improving mobility are our top priorities as identified in the 4th medium-term plan. The government is primarily focused on improving urban mobility by enhancing commuter rail, bus rapid transport, non-motorized transport systems, and Nairobi Railway City. The selected projects have been identified by the State Department of Transport in the Ministry of Roads and Transport as priorities that will produce real, impactful, and sustainable outcomes for the people of Kenya. We have the goodwill. We should now ride on it. On our part as well, it will be necessary for us to accelerate some of the issues that may be delaying the actual benefit of the funding on our side. So at this stage, I can only assure you once again that we remain committed to working with you, all our partners, and we have a good opportunity to produce something tangible in this sector. And I think collectively we shall be able to do so. Thank you. Let me conclude by underlining my commitment to ensuring that NGCS will be the fulcrum of unlocking bottlenecks that constrain the delivery of government services. It will facilitate and coordinate the implementation of these programs and projects for the betterment of the people of Kenya. The transport sector was chosen as the pilot sector due to its substantial impact on development and the high level of donor involvement. The success of this pilot in the transport sector will be a game changer that will trigger other critical sectors such as energy, water, health, MSMEs, education, and ICT. Ladies and gentlemen, historically, our development efforts have largely been fragmented, often working in silos and independently. The pilot phase of the NGCS G7+ Secretariat has enabled us to learn that despite harmonization, alignment, and coordinations efforts over the years, there still exist silos amongst the development partners and also the government departments. It is imperative that we break down those silos and foster a culture of collaboration and integration in order to make the most effective use of the limited resources available. Ladies and gentlemen, the purpose of the meeting is to discuss and coordinate our efforts for the successful implementation of the G7+ Secretariat within the NGCS using prioritized projects of the transport sector as the pilot. This is informed by the Partnership by Global Infrastructure and Investment, the Partnership for Global Infrastructure and Investment, PGII, launched by the G7 members, that is Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the United Kingdom, and the United States during their 48th summit in June 2022, as earlier indicated. The G7 members pledged to mobilize $600 billion to support transformative infrastructure projects in developing nations. Kenya would wish to proactively draw on this support and demonstrate how a nation can leverage its internal coordination mechanisms to make the most efficient and effective use of development partner funding. This will set a solid foundation to build a case for even more support.
As part of the structure of PGII, the idea is that country platforms should be established to set up coordination mechanisms between G7 partners and host nations. And so we are proposing to use that mechanism to take this program forward. Those platforms are led by host governments and with partnering with one country which will help coordinate international donors. And the Chief of Staff spoke about the importance of coordination. So in this context, the UK is happy to respond to the request from the Government of Kenya to lead that coordination of the country platform in the transport sector. And we will work closely with our international partners who we've met and discussed this to try to achieve that coordination. And more specifically, the coordinated delivery of 4 integrated mass transport projects which serve Nairobi city centre, including the bus rapid transit, commuter rail, Nairobi Railway City, and the non-motorised and electronic vehicles project. And we think together those different projects can become a single transformative program. We see this program as genuinely transformational. And in that spirit, we're therefore delighted that we think this project should be eligible for the Partnership for Global Infrastructure and Investment under the G7 Plus initiative. And for those less familiar, this is a program that was launched at the 48th G7 Summit in Germany in 2022. And so the potential is absolutely enormous. And this program is a flagship program under that initiative, and we expect it to be celebrated that way at the G7 summit next week. So this is a nationally important, but even an internationally important program. And we hope that will help secure the access to international funding and expertise which can drive this project forward.